Roses are red, violets are blue. Holy shit, we got season 3 of Oregairu! Welcome to RadiOtakus. So Sean,
Yeah.
this is your first time watching a bunch of just episode ones and then dropping a bunch of shows, is it? Or is it not?
Not really. I do that for most seasons. I mean, most of the time I just check out shows that look promising and then they turn out to be pretty meh and I just drop it. But I mean, I guess maybe this is the time where I go out of my way to check out shows that I know I will drop.
Well, I mean,
So yeah.
so before we started this recording this, I had Sean do some assigned watching, like, how they made you do assigned reading back in like social studies and all that. But he had to watch like a bunch of shows, a couple shows that I selected, and a couple shows that like he thought he would enjoy. Out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 new shows this season, which is like more than I thought that we would have had because of COVID. But
Wait, 11 shows? There are
11,
only
11 new
there are
shows this
11
season.
shows that's airing. Oh,
No, no, no. 11 new
wait.
shows. Like, there's 5 sequels and then, like, a bunch of
Oh,
stragglers
okay,
from
okay,
the
okay.
COVID hammer from last
Okay, so
season.
so, so
So,
you're so you're not counting sequels, okay?
yeah.
Because if you were counting sequels, it would be lower than I thought. But
Yeah. I said
I mean,
11
11
new
sounds about right.
shows, but I guess new
Uh-huh.
could also imply sequels as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's talk about some of the shows that got the COVID hammer from last season and have thus been delayed to
Mm-hmm.
this season. Um, so, first off, we got Bungle to Alchemist, which I watched like one episode of.
I mean, I didn't like it. It was pretty meh. I didn't like the character design, and it's just a meh show. Yeah,
It was really confusing. I watched one episode of it and I just like couldn't find myself getting into it.
the writing's kind of cringe, or the dialogue, I mean, but which is part of the writing. But yeah.
I feel like like the concept was there, but it was too confusingly laid out. I guess
Hmm.
I couldn't like really wrap my head around it until I like went and just read a synopsis of it.
Like the show gave me it kind of gave me like a Bungo Stray Dogs vibe, but like Bungo Stray Dogs was
You sure it's not just because
more
it has
normal compared
bongo?
to this. Well, yeah, but also they were like all the characters in both shows centers around literature figures, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I don't have much to say about that show, but
I
it's
don't.
it's just meh.
I'm pretty sure it didn't perform well on my anime list either. Let me check.
I would not be surprised.
Oh, you're the one that can't do any research this time.
Yep, because I have no internet right now. I'm calling on my Discord and I'm recording on my OBS offline, so this is fun.
Thank you, internet, for nothing.
Dude, I
Uh,
have no idea why I have no internet connection right now. Like I'm using Wi-Fi to call, but my Ethernet is not working. What's going on?
let's see. Bungo the Alchemist, 5.78. Yeah, I deserve that.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Alright, next on the continuing from last season because of COVID, we've got Shokugeki no Soma Season 5. And while I will not say that I've not watched this, and I know you haven't either,
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody that knows me in real life, they know how much I hate on Shokugeki no Soma. Like, I I was okay with the first season, and then it turned into a slideshow, and like suddenly you're looking at a Queen Bee animation instead of whatever frickin' studio it was, JC Staff, I think.
Yeah, I think JC is the one that did
Yeah,
Shokugeki adaptations. Yeah.
JC Staff literally turned into Queen Bee Animations, and if you don't know who Queen Bee Animations is, well, don't look it up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I was never a big fan of the manga though.
Oh my god, and it's getting to the end game where like I really, really hated it.
well, I mean, it's getting to the point where like the second son shows up, right? And like
Yeah,
the
the
dad gets beaten in like 2 seconds or something. Yeah.
it was god awful. It was like, oh my god. And then like you know how like when you release like extra chapters like post after the end of the series,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
supposed to
It's
improve.
like
It made it
extra credits.
it made things worse. It made things
Not
so
like
worse.
this.
It's so bad.
Oh, how did they fuck up so hard?
Yeah, and then we got Railgun season 3, the last
Hmm.
8 episodes, and for the first
Is this
two,
still? I don't think it's airing yet, right?
it'll
I don't think
air.
they've aired anything yet.
It'll air in the next like few days. I think. I think it starts on like the
Oh, okay.
19th tomorrow. I think maybe I don't know.
Well, it's today. What the?
Yeah, I'll have to
Yeah,
check.
yeah.
But I mean, usually the last like 8ish episodes are just like an anime original. At least the last 2 seasons of Railgun have been, and while they haven't been
Hmm.
like unenjoyable, I definitely enjoyed like the actual main content more.
Yeah, yeah. The main content just has like a lot more creative ideas, just because like the author, the author's just good at coming up with crazy powers and crazy interactions. Kind of like JoJo actually. It's like JoJo but sci-fi.
That's a collaboration that I think I'd like to see personally. We got Hokage Table Nishi. I don't actually know what that means. I think it's like something. Our days at the breakwater or something. It's like another cute girls do cute things show, except it's like
Okay.
outdoor fishing type things. And it's like
Oh, okay.
it's a reasonably relaxing slice of life. I'm gonna be real honest. It's like it was fun, but it's not something I'd get into.
Did you watch it or?
I watched like one. I watched the one episode last season.
Mm-mm. Okay. Oh yeah. Of course.
It
Okay.
it was like a fun watch, but again, I wouldn't
Mm.
really continue it. But that's just me. I like a little bit more excitement in my slice of life, so. And it wasn't
Mm.
like particularly funny either. Apare Ranman, which is I think it's an original by PA Works.
Oh yeah. It's a samurai show, right?
It's like sort of like the first episode had like cars and stuff, and like cars don't really
Mm-hmm.
mix with samurais and stuff.
Yeah.
As you'll find out with one of the shows that's airing this season. Yep.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. We'll get to it.
We'll get to
Yeah.
it. I could not get behind the design of the main character. I'm so sorry.
Wait, which one?
Apare
Or the
Ranman.
current?
I don't know what
Oh,
his
okay.
like actual name is, but like the main character from that show.
It's the one with like the red dots around his mouth, right?
Yeah,
Like the on two sides of his mouth. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And then he's got like the two black ass ponytails, and it's just are
Mm-hmm.
they ponytails? It's like I don't know, but he looks like a redhead version of like one of those kids from The Emperor's New Groove, and it just bothers me. All right. The Millionaire Detective, and this is one that I didn't
Mm-hmm.
actually get around to watching last season, but
Oh, really? Not
no.
even the first episode? Okay.
Well, I was gonna do it today, and then work murdered me. So
Yeah. It's fine.
same with Great Pretender.
Oh, yeah. I did say I was gonna watch it last time, but uh, well, work started, so I haven't gotten around to watching that many shows. But yeah, the billionaire, what's it called? Like, it's
Mil-
like unlimited, balance unlimited, detective millionaire or something like that,
yeah.
right?
In retrospect, it's like a weird name. They could have just kept it at the Millionaire Detective, and I think it would have just been fine.
Balance unlimited is just, I mean, like, it's like a joke in the show where the guy has like unlimited balance, so he can just withdraw however much money he wants to solve his problems.
No,
So
because
yeah, I guess
like
that's why they kept it.
I feel like that would be a funny name for like a second season if it ever got to that point. But like
Oh, yeah,
they could have
yeah.
just gone with
But
the Millionaire Detective, and it would have been great selling point. And then the next season is Millionaire Detective Balance Unlimited, or like
balance
spin off
unlimited.
movie or OVA.
Yeah. But like the manga or whatever, the source material itself had to have a catchphrase, right? So they probably just included it
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
manga, or it's a manga adaptation, right? It's either a manga or a light novel, right?
I should know this, but I don't.
Yeah, it's okay. It might actually be a novel adaptation too. Well, it doesn't really matter, but like what matters is the cast that's working on the show. So you've got the voice actor of Okabe Rintaro or the manager from Zombieland Saga. Um, However you want to think about it. So yeah, he's playing the main role for voice acting in the show.
Man, I completely
Uh,
forgot that those are the same character, right? Or same
yeah, yeah,
voice
it's
actor.
the same voice actor. Yeah,
God, I completely forgot that they're by the same voice actor, and
but it's I
it's
mean
so
it's
good.
pretty distinct. His voice is pretty distinctive. Like,
Yeah,
well,
but
I
that's
would say,
I still
mhm,
forgot, you know.
yeah, I would say this performance by him is less dynamic than the two shows, but I mean, it's Mamoru, right? Like you cannot go wrong with this voice acting. And he's playing more of like the straight man in this series, which is a new role, I guess. It's like a new thing by him because usually he's the one that's playing the wacky character. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much only watching this show because of the voice acting. Um, Also do check out the live voice actor events because they've done like the VA promotional events where they interview the voice actors, ask them some questions about like the casting of the show and whatnot, and like him and the other character, oh, I forgot who the other voice actor is, but he's also really funny. The two of them makes like a really great comedic duo, and and there's this scene where they talk about how it feels like to be a millionaire because that's the character that they're playing as in the show, and then one of them says like he he takes a shower, he takes a bath every day in a bathtub, and he drinks like wine and whatnot and eats cheese in the bathtub, and then the host asks, oh great, so how big is your bathtub? And he just curls up into a ball and says this big. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I might include like a clip of it on the YouTube version.
Next we got Gallon Dinosaur, and like I have feelings about Gallon Dinosaur. They're not good feelings.
Okay.
So like normally, like any Gyaru media, I just eat that up, right? You know, like one of my
Hmm.
favorite
Yeah.
manga right now is like The Dress of Darling, or My Dress of Darling, or something like that. I don't know what the English title is.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm trying to think of some other ones, but I can't think of it. Oh, Yancho Gal Anjo san, something like that. Like those
Hmm.
are all like manga that I really enjoy. And then I saw Gallon Dinosaur was getting adaptation, and I was like, huh, I didn't read this manga. Let's see what it is. I watched the first episode, and literally for like three and a half to 4 minutes, it was just a still frame of like the dinosaur just sitting there. And I was like,
Jesus.
what the fuck did I just watch?
What's going on? What?
What? And oh my god, I just could not I just could not do it after that. I didn't care what came after. I didn't care if it was comedic or anything. I just didn't want to deal with that.
It sounds like really bad. I mean, well, it sounds like something that most shows these days have, right? Like the still frames and like the PowerPoint things,
It's
or like
ba-
the PowerPoint-like feeling, like the scenes. Yeah.
it's basically a Shokugeki no Soma season 3.
Oh my God. Dude, speaking of like PowerPoint-like presentations or like anime, like
Queen
do you
Bee.
remember this show that came out like a while ago called Welcome to the Ballroom?
Yes.
That show was a fucking PowerPoint, bro. Like they made that show in PowerPoint. I swear to
Dude,
God.
I'm pretty sure if you took me in like 10th grade, asked me to make a PowerPoint on giraffes, you'd get welcome to the ballroom.
Oh yeah, because of the necks. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember.
And then last with the COVID hammer from last season, I guess it technically wasn't the COVID hammer, but like it's a was original net animation that aired like at the very beginning of the month, so it was like kind of in the middle. It's like it's not really a show, but it's like whatever. Is what we've been talking about with the Great Pretender or Great Pretender by
Mm,
Wit Studio.
mm.
I mean, for me, the synopsis sounds pretty interesting, and it's got an 826 on my anime list, so
That's pretty good. I mean, that could also be because there aren't that many people who've seen it. So the scores may be inflated, but yeah, that's all right.
details. It's got 47,000 members. It's doing okay for itself.
Well, yeah, but it's on the low end compared to like other shows, you know.
I mean, it also has no advertising, and it just kind of dropped all at once. I think.
It it's on Netflix or something. Is that why?
No, I don't think it's even on Netflix.
Okay, okay. Because usually Netflix shows gets dropped all at once. So.
Yeah, but that's usually like months after the fact, after it aired or
Oh
finishes
yeah,
airing.
yeah, true. Except for like Baki, I guess.
Yeah, so
Actually, I don't know when Baki aired.
the I'm just like taking a quick look at the synopsis, and it's basically like Masato is supposedly Japan's greatest swindler. Together with his partner Kudo, they try to trick a Frenchman in Asakusa, but unexpectedly get tricked instead. And the Frenchman, whom they tried to swindle, turns out to be a much higher level confidence man in control of the mafia, and now he has to do the Frenchman's dirty jobs. And like that premise sounds pretty interesting to me.
Hmm.
And you didn't get to get around to watching the first episode of this,
No,
right?
no, 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 I did not.
But like, oh hey, wait, it is on Netflix. Sorry, it says right here.
Mm, okay, yeah.
What do
I
you know?
mean, if it's their ML, so
5 episodes every week beginning June. Huh. Okay. Well, we'll check official streaming services and maybe update the YouTube video with it.
hmm hmm
But I'll definitely like take a look at this when I have time and when I'm not trying to scramble to watch every show this season. Oh god, there are a lot of shows.
I mean, we're gonna be dropping a ton, so it's all right. We'll get time.
So like, and continuing its second core from last season is Fruits Basket's second season, which we talked about last episode, so we're not going to get into too much
Hmm.
depth. Any of those shows pique your interest?
I mean, I was watching Railgun, so I'm gonna keep watching Railgun because I like the Index slash Railgun universe. I'm also gonna keep checking out the um, what's it called? Balance Unlimited, the Millionaire Detective. Yeah, I'm gonna those. So those two are probably the shows that I'll be focusing on. There might be more. I mean, if I hear good things about the rest, I might check them out. Um, of course, I'm still gonna check out The Great Pretender. So there's probably gonna be like three shows that I'm gonna be catching up on, or continuing to follow this season that's coming from previous seasons.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same, and because I'm an absolute masochist, I will probably be watching Shokugeki no Soma season 5 as well because I hate myself.
Bruh, I,
Look,
I
like
mean,
I've watched 4 seasons of this train wreck. I'm gonna see it to completion. What astounds me about Shokugeki no Soma is that, like how high of a score it continues to have on my anime list, and I'm just like, oh god.
I mean, it's either manga fanboys or people who have no standards. So
It is
I
my
mean,
duty, it's my sworn duty to help and do my part in bringing that rating down.
yeah, just play the whole season in the background and pretend that you've watched it and give it a solid 1 out of 10 on Mel. Yeah, you're
No,
doing
I
the
don't even
world
remember
justice.
I don't remember what I gave the other seasons of the
Previous seasons.
show. Let me check. That's not the right completed.
You're right though. It's not as bad as SAO, so it probably deserves like a 2 or above.
Okay, I gave him like sixes to like a 5 to 7, which like,
What? What?
well,
That's on the high end, bro.
that's on the low end of my scale because my scale goes from like 3 to 10.
That's why your scores are so inflated.
No, no, because like twos and ones are reserved specifically for shows that I drop. Because my rationale is that if I drop a show, it must have at least been a 3. Sorry, if I don't drop a show, it must have at least been a 3.
I disagree. I don't think SAO is a 3.
Well, we can debate on that.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I'll unfortunately be watching Shokugeki to Soma season 5. I will be watching happily Railgun season 3,
Hmm.
and I'll probably watch Great Pretender at some point.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So the sequels from last season, or not the sequels from last season, the sequels that are
The
having
sequels.
new seasons. First off is the one, the only, the show that everyone's been waiting for. It's No Guns Life season
Oregairu
2.
Light. Oh, oh, oh no. Why you gotta do me like this?
Okay, but But we're gonna go in like relative order of popularity, and at the top is is not No Guns Life season 2. It is ReZero season 2. So let's start with that.
Surprise, guys! ReZero is the most popular show this season. Wow.
And like when we go through these, even though like a lot of these shows have had second or third like episodes already aired, we're gonna be focusing on just our impressions of the first episode.
Yeah, that's fine.
So ReZero season 2 like really hit the ground running, didn't it?
Really? I felt like it was kind of a slow episode, but for the most part, it's probably because I got spoiled by the trailer because the trailer showed showed all the answers to the questions that was on my mind, and then the anime is just a prolonged version of the trailer. So it was actually a really slow experience for me. Yeah,
Yeah, don't watch the trailer. Like for me, I went into like I'm going into the second season like completely blind, and
that's good. That's good.
I didn't even watch the trailer, and I was like, oh man, if this is how it starts, I can't imagine what the rest of the season is gonna be like.
Yeah, because a big part about the season like season two's hype was that in the director's cut, so not in the original TV airing. So in the director's cut, they show that at the end of the whale arc, essentially the end of the Archbishop of Sin arc, essentially, Rem gets wiped from everyone's memories except for Subaru, right? And now you're thinking, wait, but the whale was was the thing that can, you know, erase people from other people's memories, but they just killed the whale. So what's up with that? How did she get erased from everyone's
Yeah, let's not spoil too
awareness?
much of the first episodes of the season
Yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah. Of course, of course.
But
But you see what I mean, right?
yeah,
That's
it
the
like
whole.
to be fair, it happens
That's
in like the first what 4 minutes of of the episode. So
yeah, but that's the thing that everyone's waiting for. And then that just gets revealed in the trailer, and I'm just like, why am I even watching episode one? I already know what's going to happen. Yeah, it's like a big turn off for me. Like, so my first episode viewing, like my experience was really held back by the trailer, and and that's supposed to be like the shocking reveal, right? That's the shocking reveal, and afterwards it's all just talking and exposition about what could have happened, and yeah, it's just a slow episode for me because the action's been spoiled and the rest of the episode is just talking.
I mean, when you think about it, the first couple episodes of ReZero season 1 were kind of slower as well. So like it's only
But
fair.
it ended on a cliffhanger, right? It ended on a like episode one was a 48-minute long double length episode, and it ended on it ended the moment Subaru died and got respawned, right? So it was the beginning of some major action, but then this this episode doesn't really end on a call to action. It ended was, oh, we will save Ram, but there's no direction, right? Like there wasn't. It ended on more of a melancholic tone rather than a um inspirational one, like in season one, episode one.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
like
I
I feel
mean,
like a lot of episodes, like individual episodes, have to be broken down. Like they have to end on either a cliffhanger or resolution, and like I don't I don't necessarily like that, but I mean that's just the way that shows sell, right? Like every manga, every chapter, pretty much every chapter is like that in some
yeah,
capacity.
just so that the viewers or like the audience comes back to it next episode or next week or next release, whatever, right? Yeah.
But I
But no,
mean,
the show is still good. I mean, like I'm just being picky, I guess, because I've been waiting for like
we've
how
waited
long?
4 years
I've
for
been
this.
Yeah, yeah, I've waited too long for this, and if this is like your first episode, I'm like kind of disappointed.
Oh
But
wait, hold
I
on.
mean,
Let me be
it's
clear. You've waited 4 years for this. I've waited like 4 months.
true, true,
Also,
true.
admittedly, getting Rise Up.
Austin didn't get to watch it until like recently. Yeah.
So like, if you go into like my anime list, you'll see that like a lot of the shows that like most people should have watched are just not there. And like
Yeah, like
ReZero
Fully
was
Cooley.
one of
Yeah.
those for a long time. and it's like it finally made it, but there's still a lot that's missed. That's quote unquote missing, but you know.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, you didn't start watching anime until pretty late, right? So it
Yeah,
kind of makes sense.
and like a large majority of the anime that I did watch, like what aired after I started watching, initially back in 2014. So
Which is why you shouldn't watch Shokugeki season 5. You should be watching good shows, man.
dude, there's no
Anyways,
meaning to my life. That's why I'm watching Shokugeki no Soma season 5.
you'll find meaning once you watch Fully Cooley. That show is just too good.
That's another one that's also on my list. That's also not on my list. That should be.
It's yeah, it's only 6 episodes too, so it's like a really quick watch. But yeah, anyways,
In my
are we
defense,
done
I
with
was
ReZero?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. In my defense, I was going to watch it and then I realized that they didn't have like the original on Crunchyroll, and I was like, ah, shoot. Now I
Well,
gotta find
because
somewhere
anime's
else to
king,
watch
bro.
this.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Heresy, guys.
Anyway. Um. Second on the list of sequels is Oregairu season 3, and
The actual good sequel. Yes.
personally, I was more excited for this than ReZero season 2. I don't know how controversial that is, but like,
I mean, I mean, I mean, yeah, same. Honestly, same.
because like,
I mean, okay, I really liked the Oregairu series. Yeah.
because like, have you read the light novels at all?
Yeah, I've read Volume 1, the translated version.
Yeah, because like I've read the last two light novels. Um,
The last 2 volumes.
but yeah, the last two volumes of the light novel, which encapsulates the entirety of season 3. And dear God, the writer of Oregairu, I think it's like Wataru, I think something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's so good at writing. Jesus Christ! Like I know not all of it comes across in like in the translation between Japanese to English, or in your case Japanese to Chinese.
Oh no, it's English. Yeah, I read there.
Oh, you're in
I'm
English. Okay.
I'm yeah, my subtitles are in English and my translated stuff are mostly in English. My Chinese reading is too slow for me to watch them in subtitles.
Unless you're reading Doshin's.
True, but then in that case, I don't need to worry about speed, right? In most cases, I just don't read the subtitles at all. I don't read the translation at all.
But the writing's just so good. I think I've read like very bits and pieces of the other volumes, but this is one that I'm definitely like very much looking forward to. And the first episode already like hit me really hard in the feels.
It's a Kawasaki episode, man.
It got
Can I complain?
like if every episode of the season is gonna be like that, I'm not sure how well I can handle it, man.
Bruh, like the Kawasaki moment, like the Kawasaki scene as well as the Komachi scene at the end. It was really good. That was really good.
Komachi really makes it's like best of Moto. And
Yeah.
if you say that like Sagari is best of Moto, just like leave our podcast, please. like
But yeah, like
like Komachi's the most realistic like little sister that of any little sister in anime realistically.
she's also a little too good to be true, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fair, but like
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Though. But it's just the most down to earth.
yeah, and you
sister
could argue
character.
that like the camera will only show her her good moments, like she's
I mean, yeah. They showed some bad moments of in season 2, right? When him and when her and Hikigaya had a falling out.
well, I'm talking about when like with your reference to like quote unquote too good to be true,
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so
I mean, but when I said that, I just mean that she does too much, right, for Hikigaya. But I mean, that's also her character. That's like there's a reason for it. So I mean, it's all right.
her voice acting was really good that episode too.
Say that again.
Her voice acting was really good that episode too. Same with
Yeah,
Hikagaya's.
yeah, for sure.
Um,
Also, Ebisu from Tower of God shares the same voice actor as Hikigaya from Oregairu. Think about that. No, I mean, like, I've rewatched ReZero, or not ReZero, Oregairu a lot of times. So I've heard Hikigaya's performance, or Eguchi's performance of Hikigaya, like a lot of times. But it's not until I just finished Tower of God last season and then came to watch ReZero, or I keep saying ReZero. It's not until I finished Tower of God last season and came to watch Oregairu now that I realized how big of a range Eguchi's voice is, because Hikigaya has like a deeper voice, right?
Yeah.
His yeah his words have more bass to it, but like Iguchi is more of like a high pitched, like your more standard comedic character. So yeah, it's just something that I was thinking in the back of my head when I was watching the episode. How big of a range that some of the voice actors have
I
in their
think
voice, which kind of makes sense, right?
the bass and like really low voice of Hikagai really helps sell the character. So it's really nice
Hmm.
that his voice acting does come across.
As like a kind of like a more gloomy type of character, even though
Yeah.
he usually plays the Joker or like the comedian in the shows. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up is Sword Art Online Alicization, yet another core.
Jesus Christ.
And it's time for our bi-weekly dumpstering of A1 Pictures.
Mm.
A1 Pictures. You don't need to molest a girl in order for somebody to be a bad guy. Are you clear? Are we clear?
Yeah, but
No,
you need to
because you're gonna
molest a
do it
girl in
in
order
another
for
season
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You need girls to get molested by tentacles in order for guys to watch the show. That's obviously the truth, right? It's the truth of the universe. That's why they do it. I
Like,
mean, the show still shows that like the show still sells, right?
yeah, like, and that's the thing. You don't need it for Sword Art Online, right? If you're trying to sell like some trashy, nobody will watch the show, then like I could see A1 Pictures like really selling the sex side of things in order to get people to watch it. But Sword Art Online is popular as is. Like it doesn't need it doesn't need like sexiness in order to sell. It's going to
Really,
sell anyway.
really.
Yeah, and like
I don't know, man. I think the show's getting carried pretty hard by the female characters, so they gotta put in work, you know.
yes, but not molestation levels. Have you've watched the fairy dance arc? You know what I mean.
Which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the one where they get raped by the octopus in the virtual world, or are you talking about the one where Asuna gets raped in real life? I can't tell.
Where Asuna gets tentacled and molested in like the span of 3 episodes.
Yeah, well,
Something awful like that.
yeah.
But like
You basically cannot count all those instances on your fingers, pretty much.
it's it's so dumb. And like the thing sad part is that that scene isn't like like as sexually charged in the like original source material. A1 Pictures just sexualized it. And that's just
Okay,
not that's not good on anyone. Like as much as we give you joking amounts of jest in previous episodes, like I'm actually disappointed in you, A1 Pictures.
I mean, I have no expectations for the studio to begin with, so it's not really that special. I mean, especially if it's like a dead franchise like SAO, I don't really see.
Dude, Sword Art Online's not dead.
Dude, it's pretty fucking dead, man.
Besides that, the episode was like, meh. I only just watched the episode. I haven't actually caught up in Alicization, and I honestly don't really plan to. But
So
like,
you just watched it blind. You just watched it without knowing what's going on in
well,
it
like I read the
for the first
synopsis.
episode.
I read the synopsis of
Okay,
the rest
okay,
of it,
okay.
but like then again, I did the same thing to the second half of Sword Art Online season 2, and I
Mm.
watched it, but Alicization is like 40 something episodes so far. It's a headache.
Really, it's that long?
Yeah, it's a long arc, dude.
What the? Okay.
You have anything you want to say about Sword Art Online?
No, I mean I haven't seen the show, so and also like I don't think that show deserves my time, so I'm never gonna watch it. So yeah.
All right. Fire Force season 2.
Hmm.
For what it's worth, I rewatched the first opening to Fire Force
Oh,
season
okay.
1.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I still like I think if they reversed the visuals with the first half of the opening and the second half of the opening, you'd have a lot better of an opening. But
So all I've seen of Fire Force season 2 is the opening, and I can tell you right now, I like the song of season 2 in isolation, but it's a little too moody for the series. I feel like,
like
but season yeah.
Aimer slaps. Like Aimer is such a good
Yeah.
artist. And
Also, I'm pretty sure it's aimé. It's a
Aimee?
French word too. Yeah, to
Oh,
love.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Aimee.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah. But I don't know how they localize it in Japan. So I don't know. They might say aimer, but
Aimedu.
like the actual word. But yeah, but like the
Aimedu.
actual
I don't
word
know.
is yeah.
I mean, she did one of the most beloved openings in like action history with Oath Sign, which is one of the Phase Zero openings.
Wait, no, I think that's Lisa, bro.
That's Lisa.
I think that's Lisa.
I could have
I
sworn.
think I think Lisa did Fate Zeros.
I'm gonna
Yeah, you
look
can
it
look it
up.
up.
I'm gonna cut
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
can look
cut
it
out
up.
my mistakes
Yeah, it's okay.
and look it up.
Yeah, she definitely did the Fate Stay Night ones, but I'm pretty sure Oath Sign is Lisa. And the second opening to ReZero, the second opening to Fate, I keep saying ReZero. The second opening to Fate Zero is by Kalafida, which is not Amy for sure.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
like,
It is Aimee.
what?
Yeah.
Oath Sign.
Oh, I was right.
Oath Sign is by Amy?
Was I right? Oh, Brave Shine. Brave Shine was by her. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. Oath Sign
Oath Sign is Lisa.
is the
Or
yeah, Oath Sign is the first opening of Fate Zero, and like the second opening is like to the beginning, right? That was by Kalafina. So Amy didn't come into the scene for Fate until pretty late, cause even in the original Fate Stay Night, she wasn't a singer for it, you know.
yeah, but like Brave Shine is still one of the most beloved action based openings of the
Yeah,
2010s.
yeah, yeah.
And
Oh well, yeah,
and
we're already done with the 2010s.
I think the mood of Aimee definitely reflects Fate a lot better than it does for Fire Force.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just because of the way she composes and sings her songs, right? I mean, her her songs are very her songs are on the darker end in terms of like emotions, I suppose. So
Yeah.
you can tell from her performance in the Heaven's Feel movies that it's very dark. It's very menacing in a sense.
And
But her songs usually aren't like that. But she can be menacing if she wants to. If
and
she
it's
wants
like
to.
very it definitely reflects the very drama heavy story elements of Fate and Fate Zero
Compared to most
compared
shonens, yeah.
compared to like yeah a shonen, you know.
Yeah.
Fire Force the first episode kind of just played like it should have just been an OVA. I'm just gonna be straight up.
Mm.
It
For
had
like original.
I don't know. It just had no story
Okay.
relevance, and like
Okay.
there's literally nothing in that episode that told me that this is gonna be used in the rest of the series because it's just like gags and funny joke and funny haha.
It's
But
probably just to get you to I mean get you used to the characters again, I guess. It's
but like
just to
come
just to
on,
remind you of
Fire
what they
Force
do.
aired
Yeah.
last season, like or sorry last year,
Wait,
like
really?
yeah last year, yeah
Okay, yeah.
because the airing of
They
Fire
took a
Force.
one season break, right?
Yeah, the airing of Fire Force was intentionally delayed because what happened at Kyoto Animation.
Oh my God, that was the thing, wasn't it?
Yes, that was.
I mean, no, I mean that was the reason. It got
Yes,
delayed, wasn't it?
that's exactly the reason.
Damn,
I know,
it's
right?
been a year.
And No Guns Live season 2 aired, so yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty meh. I thought it could have been a cool watch, but then season one was just really boring, so I didn't watch season two. Yeah.
It didn't have the like mystery feel that I kind of wanted. It just kind of felt
Yeah.
like an angsty teen being angsty.
Yeah. Also, like the
And then I
character
dropped
designs
it.
are pretty wasted. Yeah.
But like I think realistically of the sequels, watch what you want to watch. Like
Of course.
if you've caught
Yeah.
up just and you want to watch it, then watch it. Like we're not here to tell you what to recommend for stuff that you've already watched. Like you know what you're gonna
Yeah,
Give
if
it
you've
that.
seen Oregairu season one, you know if you're gonna like it or not. If you've seen ReZero season one, you know if you want to continue or not. So
I mean, to
it's
be fair,
it's
I think
it's
the tone between Oregairu season one and Oregairu season two is very, very different.
yeah, definitely. I mean, for many reasons, right? Um, season one is more of like an introduction to the characters. Honestly, like it's more like an introduction, but then season two is when all the connections that they've established in season one comes to a head essentially, right? And it also got handled by a different studio, so the show had a very different feel because the first one looked more like a comedy with how they handled the character designs, but like the second one looks more like a high school drama, I suppose. Yeah.
This is kind of just like a side question, but do you think the content of the first two seasons of Oregairu and thus the first 12 volumes of the light novel could have been fit into three seasons rather than two? Or do you think that would be stretching it out too much?
I mean, in the ideal world, we will have half course, right? But that doesn't really work in the current meta. So, I do feel like we have, if they wanted to, they could easily make three seasons. But how important are those side contents to the main storyline that they want to tell is the question, right? So, if you do stretch it out to three seasons, while there is still original content to make use of, the storytelling, the narrative may be more unfocused, right? So it might be more focused on other friends groups in Oregairu as opposed to just specifically focusing on like Hikigaya and the trio essentially. So there are ups and downs, right? If you want to have a more focused narrative, having three seasons is all right. But then as a fan, right? Of course, I want more Oregairu content.
And that's what we have OVAs for, realistically.
Yeah, yeah. They have like the two OVAs, right? Like the one with Ishiki. Oh, was the one with Ishiki an OVA or was it part of season two?
Yeah, that's OVA season two.
What, dude? Yeah, that was a great episode, right? Yeah,
That's a
that
fun
was a really
episode.
fun episode.
For
Yeah.
like me personally, I'm an Ishiki fan. Not because I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
hook up with Hachiman, but because she's just a fun character.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, but anyway, let's move on to the new shows this season, and like we're gonna go in order of popularity again. I'm just switching a couple around based on what Sean has and hasn't seen, so we don't get
Mm-hmm.
too much.
Yeah, so I don't just like AFK for the rest of the podcast. Yeah, sounds good.
End of gotcha episode.
uh, yeah, it's all right. I mean, it happens, right?
All right, so first of all, is The God of High School, which is a webtoon, the second in
Oh,
two seasons that's getting adapted in
I'm
collaboration with
surprised that's the most popular one,
Crunchyroll.
actually.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's there's not much this season.
True. Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that it's the most popular one, but at the same time, most of the popular spots are taken by the sequels. So, so if you look at it, it's probably not that far up in
I
the
want to say
standings
this
for
is like
popularity, right?
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is 4.
That sounds about right, right? Because what's top three? ReZero, Oregairu, SAO. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds about right.
So let's read the synopsis. It all began as a fighting tournament to seek out for the best fighter among all high school students in Korea. Mori
So
Jin,
Sparky.
a
No,
taekwondo
I'm just kidding.
specialist and a high school student, soon learns that there is something much more greater beneath the stage of the tournament. You watched this, the first episode.
Yep. I've also read a ton of it after watching episode two.
Same,
Like,
actually. Actually, not a ton of
I've
it, but like I read a good like 20 something, 20 30 episodes.
Yeah, I'm on like one chapter 164 or something. Yeah,
So, but
almost at halfway mark for the available stuff that's translated.
there's like 300 something, 300, four
Yeah,
hundred,
yeah,
right?
400. There's 400. Yeah,
Jesus
there's 400.
Christ.
And that's
So,
why I didn't get enough sleep last week. I've been reading it too much. But yeah,
first episode, what are your thoughts?
I really didn't like how they reused episode one's animation in the opening. That's my biggest. That's the most memorable thing in my head
I'll
because I saw
also
episode.
I'll
Yeah.
also say that I just didn't like the intro song, but it's just not. It's just
Mm-hmm.
not. It's just because it's not my style of music. the American singer wasn't relevant in the song as it was shown in the
Hmm.
opening at all. And
Hmm.
it's from a band that I don't really listen to either, so it was just a mix of just things I just didn't really care for.
I think the webtoon adaptation scene is still trying to find its target audience. That's why like even with Tower of God, they've been trying
They
different
run the K-pop
opening
group
songs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They
or
like
blend
the
K
songs are very
J-pop. I don't
different.
know.
Um, I'd say they're more similar to K-pop. And because the sounds in the two openings are harsher compared to your traditional J-pop. Um, which kind of makes sense, right? Because it's a Korean audience, most likely, that's gonna be consuming this. Um, for the majority, I mean, if you're adapting a webtoon that's written by Koreans, you're probably going to target Korean audiences more than, say, Japanese or Chinese or American, right? Even though the animation is probably built in Japan. I don't know that though. Don't quote me on it, but I'm guessing Japanese studio handled it. Um, Not like Korea doesn't have its own animation studio or whatnot though, right? Because Avatar was handled by partially Korean staff too, right? On top of
Oh, was
American and
it?
Japanese staff.
I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Legend of Korra had a key animator for a lot of its earthbending action scenes that's done by a Korean animator.
Huh.
His name escapes me right now, but yeah, Korean staff has worked on Avatar before. Um, Anyways, right? Like the opening, I'm not a huge fan of because of, well, one, the song, but that's a personal tasting. But two, they reused episode one's action footage for the opening animation, which I think is very lazy and not something that I can approve of, I suppose.
I think the direction of the first episode, like as a just in terms of just the episode content itself, I thought it was pretty
Hmm.
good.
Yeah,
The
for sure.
content was like right where we expected it to be and where it needed to be
Hmm.
in terms of like the pacing of the show and
Uh,
or
yeah,
pacing of the webtoon.
yeah.
And it was a
Um,
very enjoyable watch for me.
yeah, I definitely enjoyed watching episode one. That's why I continue to. That's why I started the manga, right, or the webtoon, right? But
But is this going to
I
be
don't
like
know.
something that you read and then just not watch because you've read it, or is it something that you're going to continue to watch after reading it?
I It depends, right? So I've seen episodes one and two right now because we're recording in week two of whatever the this season, summer 2020, right? Yeah. Um, the animation does bring in elements that the webtoon doesn't have. It has more fluid animation, and the action scenes do look good. And they do make certain changes to the story and how the action plays out in order to facilitate like their animation, like the storytelling in the anime, right? Because it's different medium, they gotta have to make some adjustments, which I understand, right? And some of the changes, well, while they are jarring, once you go and read the webtoon, they are not intrusive if you're a anime viewer alone. So I do think the anime is worth watching, just as like a alternative representation of the source material, similar to Mob Psycho 100, right? The manga itself for both Mob Psycho and I'd say even the God of High School are on the simplistic end, and they don't offer much. Yeah, I would say they don't offer much, but like the animation does elevate the two source material by making its action look very flashy and very yeah, it's a very good action sequence. Basically, like it's very well choreographed, even though it had the benefit of the source material to work with. Um,
Yeah, I'd say this is
oh yeah,
definitely like between like a drop it, a consider, or watch it. I would say this is definitely a watch it.
yeah. I do have something to say about the pacing though. I feel like the first half, right? The first half focused more on the main character waking up, and there's like a chase sequence right at the beginning.
Yeah,
I do think that's too long relative to how quickly they breezed through the second half of the episode.
yeah,
I feel like they could have spent more time on that part because the chasing isn't really that important, but that's just me.
I could see it, but I think they wanted to like give you a general sense of like it's part comedy it's part action, and it's just like just to give the viewer a feel for how it's gonna go, and just lay that out over the course of the first half of the episode.
Mhm. Yeah, and like the comedic element is also a big part in the webtoon. So yeah, I guess it makes sense. But like, yeah, it's whatever. I like when I was watching, I just thought, because I was watching it blind, right? I didn't read a webtoon before. When I was watching it blind, I just felt like the chase scene took way too long. But yeah, it's okay. It's an okay episode. It's an okay start. The animation is pretty stellar, in the montage. So it's, I mean, which is probably why they put it in the opening. But that's pretty lazy, and you shouldn't do that. So, yeah.
All right, so next is Mao Gakuen no Futeki Gosha, or the Misfits at Demon King Academy, or something like that, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the Misfit of Demon King Academy, history's strongest Demon King reincarnate, and then it cuts off because that title is way too long.
Sounds like a light novel adaptation, if you ask me.
Sounds like a Fallout Boy song. Dude, I'm pretty sure Fallout Boy songs and light novel adaptation, and light novel names are just interchangeable at this point. So, after 2,000 years has passed, the ruthless demon lord has just been reincarnated as a 1 month old who miraculously grew into like an 18-year-old over the course of a month. And
Joy.
he's entering a school where everything is based around the teachings of him 2,000 years, but as history in real life has showed, that kind of gets twisted a little bit
Along
over
the
the
way,
course
yeah.
of 2,000 years, and it is not as he expects or has taught. So now he must fit in and show how overpowered he is. That's just a brief synopsis. I could have read the entire thing on my anime list, but I really didn't want to.
It's pretty long, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
They're usually pretty long.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would.
All I'm saying is
Night.
spawn killing is fun.
Like, it's one of those like really high power trip type fantasies, but
And
it's like
it's not
entertaining.
embarrassed to show it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what I see is a lot like whenever there's a lot of power trip type shows, they usually like, oh, I'm still
I'm still
low.
normal.
Yeah, I'm still normal. I'm still low tier, and you see that in shows like
Shokugeki.
did I not say to make my abilities average in the next life or something like that. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm normal. I'm a cute girl doing cute things, but and then her power's like off the charts. But this
Yeah.
guy's like, hi, I can fuck you guys up. And then everyone's like, no, you can't. And it's like I appreciate the arrogance that comes with it, you know? Like I might not like
Mm,
arrogance in real life, but it's funny. It's funny to an
yeah.
extent. What are your thoughts on it besides, this whole spawn killing deal?
I mean, that was the thing that left the most impression on me. But I don't know. I guess I could talk about the opening again. But like the opening is kind of meh, right? It okay. I'm not gonna lie. It looked a lot like it gave off the vibe of Mahoka, right? Mahoka Kokono Ryotose, like the
Yeah,
narrator at Magical High School.
that's what I was thinking too, but I haven't actually
Hmm.
watched Mahoka, so I can't exactly
Oh,
make the
really?
best comparison.
Oh, okay.
Like
So
I've seen the icon thing
yeah.
on Netflix, but like I never actually went and sat down and watched it.
Hmm. So the reason why I said it gave off the same feel is because when they represent magic and represent some abstract concept in the show, in the opening and in the exposition in Mahoka, they use like a very similar 3D polygon geometry to represent those ideas, and they do that in this show too, right? Like the magic crest and like the opening both uses those kind of polygons, and that just gave me like a Mahoka flashback, I guess. Um, Otherwise, I don't know. It's just pretty. It's like a meh funny show that you watch under if you have time.
Would you
But
give it a
otherwise,
drop it, a consider it, or watch it?
depends on how production quality goes, honestly, because there are shows that start off okay, but then with these kind of shows, you can never tell when the production is gonna get a dip, and once it gets a dip, maybe it won't be worth watching anymore.
Yeah, I'd leave it on consider it as well.
Hmm.
I, I mean, I enjoy it because I have had my fair share of trashy shows that I
Like I mean,
started and
I'm pretty
dropped.
sure this thing has a manga adaptation too, right? Like most light novels have a manga adaptation
I
before
couldn't
they get
find it on
anime.
personally, but
Okay, okay.
oh, sorry, I shouldn't
Um,
have mentioned that. I shouldn't have. I was not able to find it on the specific sites that I definitely
mhm.
did not mention and bleep out. I don't want these sites to get shut down and deprive me of my manga. Like anybody's
Ah,
gonna
dude,
freaking
I
listen
mean, you
to
say
this.
that, you say that, but got shut down and now it's back. You know?
I'm gonna bleep that out too.
Uh, no, 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 no. Okay, okay, okay. I just checked on my phone and there's an adaptation. Yeah, there's a manga adaptation.
Okay.
There's like 10 plus chapters. Yeah,
Oh, 10 plus is not that many.
yeah. It's probably like a monthly release or something, if I have to guess.
Yeah, and nah, I guess a monthly could get pretty far, but
Yeah,
if you're running at the
but
pace of,
if
say,
Tensura.
Tensura, you're hitting like what? Tensura had like what? One episode every like 1.5 chapters or so, and that's like a bit
Pretty
fast.
much.
And then Rising the Shield Hero is like one episode per roughly every per chapter.
Hmm.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So
We'll see how that goes.
yeah, I mean, out of the shows that we're gonna talk about, you could probably keep this show because there aren't that many standout shows this season, or like that there aren't that many standout novel um shows this season, like as opposed to your sequels, is what I mean.
But you know what I think is a standout show?
Uh, Rent a Girlfriend,
We're not talking about that.
Decadence,
Decadence. Decad
yeah, Decadence is pretty good.
Decadence has me on high, and I'm gonna kind of break my rule here, and we're gonna talk about the first two episodes because I really feel like you can't appreciate Decadence without
Hmm.
the second episode. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Or like we could always tell you to go watch the first 2 episodes. As also, oh well, okay. I mean, yeah. Well, my recommendation is go watch the first 2 episodes before you make any judgments of the show. And now we're gonna go into spoilers. How about that? That's your spoiler wording for this show.
Okay. I'll interject a specific time. So if you want to skip the spoilers of Decadence, go to 1 hour and 4 minutes. All right.
Yeah, yeah. You can just edit
Editing,
that out.
baby.
Yeah.
So Decadence kind of initially plays itself as like a fairly generic, human civilization versus monster, and
Hmm.
I mean, you follow the main character, who in itself is like a fun personality, who loses her right arm and is thus not able to go out and fight monsters like she aspired to be. So she takes on work under a grumpy old man as somebody who takes care of the giant mortal engines type construction that they're all running around in. Don't watch Mortal Engines; it was terrible. But fun fact, by the way, this is just a slight interjection. That was like the lowest. That was like the biggest box office bomb of all time.
Oh really?
Yeah,
What the?
it was. It was bad. And then she gets kind of sucked into a world with this mysterious, grumpy old man that she never really thought was possible, and she finds out that she's an anomaly, and she must make do in this world with all this crazy shit. I don't know. I didn't even take out my phone for this, but the fact that I can't really describe what exactly is happening is kind of an element to itself with the show,
Mhm.
because this show is an original work by whatever studio, I can't remember.
Not the same people that made Yojo Senki adaptation.
Okay.
Yep.
And the fact, oh yeah, I can see it now that I think about it. But the fact that this is an anime original makes all the mysteries that popped up in the second episode so much more intriguing because you don't have manga on people just spoiling it at every turn in the comment section of the Reddit thread.
Yeah, I mean, I do think highly of the show. The beginnings of the show, at least like the first 2 episodes. Um, of course, like you cannot ignore the fact that they use CGI in the show because it's quite jarring and some of the parts do look pretty bad, which is which is a shame, right? Because the whole climax of episode 1 was the whole CGI scene.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I mean, I think under certain circumstances you can like get around. You can like ignore the fact that there's like bad CGI and
hmm yeah, and this show does a pretty good job of it because while the climax of the show is CGI centered, um, the process leading up to that are mostly hand drawn or done in a similar style to Attack on Titan. Um, so yeah, it's not like the whole show is just CGI, so it's not bad. The show also has a lot of Attack on Titan parallels, mostly because it's like a post-apocalyptic world with huge monsters, but also that the humans fight it by, well, I suppose just maneuvering through the air, like similar to flying. Um, I think they kind of explained how that worked in episode 1. It's like with some sort of fluid or some sort of energy that the monsters project, you're
yeah,
able to float in the
yes,
air and do some aerobatics. Yeah. Um, but yeah, we're in spoiler territory now, right? We can say whatever we want. Or
yeah.
okay, yeah. So basically, in episode 2, you come to realize that the people who are fighting the monsters outside are actually video game players, or like yeah, they're pretty much just think, SAO, right? There's like an auto roader who puts on a gaming set, like or like a gaming controls, and then they control characters on Earth to fight um these huge monsters. Um, so now the show so now there are two fronts to the show, right? There's the front where the real humans are living on the surface of the Earth fighting the aliens, and then there's another front where the aliens, I suppose we could call them aliens, where the aliens control human avatars.
And the
But
main
the
character
aliens themselves, yeah.
and the
Hmm.
main character is a special anomaly where she's only involved in one of the worlds and she's not supposed to. So now you
Yeah.
have all
So
this mystery of like how she can interact with the new information that the viewer currently has. How is she
mhm.
gonna continue on with the world, and how is she gonna deal with the fact that she has one hand and all that?
yeah. So basically, like the girl is a human, right? The girl is like a down to earth, like a human, like humans as we know it. Um, but she's registered dead in the aliens database. So the aliens treat the whole Earth and the situation that's going on as a game, right? It's like a as an esport where people compete to see how many aliens they can kill. Well, the aliens are killing the monsters, I guess. So there are three factions, right? The humans, the aliens who are controlling the human avatars, and the monsters, right? So the aliens are trying to kill the monsters to get high ranks and stuff. So that's your esports players, I suppose. But then the aliens themselves have their own agenda, which we don't know yet, right? You don't know what the aliens' true objectives are. Um, Except for the fact that one of the aliens used to be a high ranker in the alien society, but now is relegated to the task of disposing bugs in the system. And they say bugs, right? They say bugs because they think of Earth as a game, or what's happening on Earth as a game,
It's like that whole you're living in a simulation, but you're the only one who's aware of it type deal.
pretty much. Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and we'll end the spoilers there, but once again, watch the first two episodes, and I'm definitely putting this on a watch on like watch it because it's very intriguing and this type of mystery is incredibly fun to watch.
Yeah, and usually this kind of mystery, okay, well, usually mystery originals or mystery anime in general falls flat on its head towards the end. Um,
We're really hoping
well,
it doesn't go that path.
yeah, I really don't know why. It's probably because mm, some of the manga writers or light novel writers aren't traditional writers, so maybe that's why they don't have really good setup for like crime mysteries or whatnot. So like I'm thinking it invaded right now, mostly because the show kind of falls flat on its head towards the end. Even though it's enjoyable watch throughout, I just feel like the end, the ending is too hand wavy. I just hope this doesn't happen here. Although this, I mean, this kind of,
This kind of
well,
premise, it might be hard. It would be hard to like do it in a hand wavy manner, but they definitely could like really mess up the
yeah,
ending still.
yeah, yeah. I mean, so I did say this show has parallels to Attack on Titan before, right? I'd say this show also has parallels to Gurren Lagann and and similarly Darling in the Franxx, which fell really fucking hard. Like so yeah, that's why I'm worried.
I can still remember the absolute shit show that Darling the Franks cost on Reddit.
Yeah, yeah, and the reason why I associated the show with Darling in the Franxx is because I first associated Decadence to Gurren Lagann, and then I remembered that Darling in the Franxx is a Gurren Lagann wannabe, and that just triggers some PTSD in me, thinking, oh my god, they can actually mess up this premise. So, so do you keep realistic expectations? So, I mean, I'm just, yeah, yeah. I mean, do you have some expectations? But I do think this show could be good, right?
If anything, watch it, and if it falls absolutely flat like Darling and the Franks
Don't be
did,
surprised.
don't be surprised, but just get on the conversation because that's the most fun part of it. If that
Yeah.
happens. Next is Uzaki-chan wa asobitai, or I think it's like Uzaki-chan won't leave me alone or something like that.
I
And
didn't watch this one.
yeah, it's one of those shows where like a girl like likes to like tease her loner friend. It's very similar to Isho Naide Nagatoro-san, which I know the anime man has talked a lot about, and I don't know if you've actually read, but it's like that's a series that I really really enjoy. Uzaki-chan, on the other hand, is kind of like I enjoyed it a lot less, and I definitely enjoyed the first episode of this a lot less because like a lot of the jokes about it are like very like sexualizing toward Uzaki-chan. And I'm not saying that like sexualization of like anime characters is necessarily a bad thing. It's actually like okay because the character in question is like 19 or 20. She's like in her second year of college, so like I feel like the series is just going to rely too heavily on those elements just by the tone and pacing of the first episode, you know? How do you feel about like those kinds of shows?
Um, I'll be honest. I don't think I've seen many shows that are in that genre, so I can't really get because it's not a genre that I usually consume. Uh, would you say it's similar to like skill teaser Tamaki-san or whatever her name is?
Takagi? Kind
Takagi,
of.
yeah.
I think Nagatoro-san is a little bit more like that, and
Mm-hmm.
like Nagatoro is like between, or sorry, Takagi is like between Uzaki and Nagatoro, but like in
Okay.
different ways. Because like Nagatoro, it's all
Okay.
about like one just straight up teasing the other.
Mm-hmm.
Like Takagi, it's like one like both are actively trying to tease each other,
Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah.
Uzaki is like there's not really as much teasing. It's just like, hey, I'm just going to join you, and then it just ends up being teasing because I have big tits.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, I mean, yeah, I
yeah,
don't really watch that kind of shows, but they're all right, I guess. If you're into something, if you want to watch something more lighthearted, you can definitely check those out. Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna say like I'm just gonna put I consider it. Like I'll continue watching it. I'm not exactly like enjoying it, but I need to fill out the bottom of my anime list. So
Uh, and I'm telling you, you just have to move your scale, and then you'll be fine.
um, here's one that you've watched: Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Stone.
Oh, joy.
I'm just
Okay.
I'm just gonna describe it like this, you know.
Yes.
You know every Nitarare plot in like hentai or doujins that you've ever seen. It's like that, but reverse the genders,
But NTR.
and then the person is and then the person in question is hot because it's a hot girl and hot girls sell.
Yes. So the show is basically NTR. It's an NTR compilation. It's an NTR parody and compilation essentially, right? So um,
I'm just gonna
segment of
say
NT
this.
World.
I hate NTR as a genre. That
Or
doesn't mean I haven't consumed it, but like I hate NTR as a genre. And
I mean, I don't like NTR as well. Hold up, my dog's out.
I will say that so just judging by the first episode, the first episode kind of was dookie. And it's a short, so it's only like 12 episodes. Yeah, it's not 12 episodes. Yeah, it's 12 episodes. It's like 12 minutes, but realistically like
Oh yeah,
three of
okay.
those minutes are like opening and ending, so it's like 9 minutes. And I think that's like pretty fair for this because I'm not sure if I could watch a full 24 episode 24-minute episode of this.
Yeah, no, like I mean,
Basically,
where was I? Where was I before I got interrupted? It's so the show is basically just a bunch of NTR scenarios, right?
the general premise of the show is that like the main character just won like this big tournament, so now he's considered like the strongest in the world.
Strongest man on earth.
And so every girl wants to bang him, and then but like every girl wants to
Because
bang
they
him
want to
because
have like a
they want to have strong offspring,
yes, yes, yes.
carry on the family. But the problem is that like he has a girlfriend who believes that
A
babies come from
fiance.
a fiance. Yes, sorry, a fiance that believes that babies come from storks, and a dad that is like way too overprotective. And like the general setup of that is like pretty funny, but I think the adaptation fell flat because I definitely like
Yes.
I didn't hate the anime as much. Sorry, I didn't hate the manga as much as I disliked the anime.
So the manga is really funny, and it also had the benefit of being able to. So the manga is really long, right? It might be a monthly release or something. So the manga has like 20 plus pages. It's really long, and the manga also. So the interspersed between the manga is a bunch of parodies and references to just anime in general, not just NTR or like just hentai memes, right? So currently there's a currently I suppose the author is on like a JoJo reference spree, so he made references to Kakyoin.
I saw
He
that.
he yeah, he drew characters with the hair of like Giorno, like the Part Five's JoJo. So so yeah, he does a lot of small things that makes the manga really funny to watch, but also he's just a very good author when it comes to drawing facial expressions, like exaggerated dramatic facial expressions, right? So similar to those and that you would expect from
Grand Blue.
prison school. Yeah, and Grand Blue, yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so it's the manga is a very dynamic and very funny watch, but the anime doesn't really translate that well.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it at a drop it personally. It wasn't.
Drop it, read the manga.
Yeah, it wasn't a good adaptation per se.
No, it's not.
Next is Monster Musume no Oisha-san, or it's like Monster Doctor,
Doctor.
something like that.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one, but I know the name.
Yeah, it's I didn't watch the interviews with Monster Girls or like the original Monster Musume. That has no
Oh,
relation to this, I believe.
yeah, no, I don't think so.
It's weird. I'm just gonna say that.
Okay.
uh, I would probably put it at drop it, but if you really like Monster Girls, by all means go ahead. It's basically just like another Monster Girl of the week, but it's just revolving around a doctor dealing with medical problems and stuff, and it's just that. And I'm sure every like Monster Girl is gonna want to bang the doctor as well, because why not?
That's why not, right? Yeah, it's just a creature grill.
But I'm just gonna say I'm gonna say drop it. But if that's your kind of thing, then by all means, I'm not here to judge you. All right, Tokyo Hentai Xeros.
Oh, fun.
I'm just gonna say this. I had more fun watching this than I probably should have.
I mean, it's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. The general
Yeah.
premise of this show is so basically monsters came down and they feed off like the erotic energy of humans because humans are all horny creatures at heart,
Yep.
apparently.
Sorry, libido. It's Freud's worst dream.
And there's a group of mostly girls and one guy that fight to take down these monsters, but the guy has like a childhood friend who used to be like super super touchy feely for an 8-year-old. To be clear, toward her crush boy, whatever.
And
Not
they're the same age, right?
yes, not
So
like
so it's not like a high schooler molesting like an 8-year-old. It's
or vice
yeah,
versa for whatever.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
child crush type deal. It's
Yeah.
like it does go to the forbidden realm of holding hands. So
Oh, how lewd.
hallelujah. Um, but it's like it's not like anything questionable. To be clear, but
Until
she
you
got
get to the end
attacked
of
by
the
one.
episode.
Yeah, she got attacked by one of those monsters in her childhood, and now she won't look at the main character, and then she gets dragged into all this stuff. So it's a funny watch. Like I'm
Yeah.
okay with dumb sexual humor because I loved Grand Blue. And like Prison School was entertaining, and I really enjoyed Shimoneta, even though I didn't put it on my anime list because I just keep forgetting to.
Hmm.
So like this is definitely like right up my alley, but I can
Yeah.
definitely see how this is like not for everybody as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the show does make pretty good. Like, it's not to the same extent of Prison School, Grand Blue, or even like the Peter Grill manga, but the show does make pretty good use of visual punchlines, right? Well, when the guy punched the aliens, there's literally like a moment of like that was literally like a punchline, right?
Yeah,
Um, I mean, I'm probably not gonna say it because there's no reason to say it. You'll know when you watch it, and if you're not gonna watch it, then you probably won't care too much about the punchline, anyways. But yeah, the show does make pretty good use of visual gags. So also the ending, not the ending, the opening song is it's interesting to say the least.
I'd say I put it at considerate.
Yep. See.
Lapis Relights. So Lapis Relights is a show that I initially went into thinking it was an idol. It was an idol show, and then it turned into a magical girl show, and then I was like, "What? I'm so
Isn't
confused."
it like a magical musical?
I think so. I think there's
That's what it
supposed to be
sounded like on the
musical elements
description.
in it. I
Yeah.
can't really
Yeah.
tell.
Uh-huh.
Basically, a girl transfers to a magic academy, and she has to bail out her flunking group mates. Otherwise, she will be kicked out as well because that's a totally fair system.
Yeah.
No, literally, the system is like she basically comes in, and like normally she would get to like choose her social circle, right?
Hmm.
But basically she goes to the headmaster's office, and then headmaster says, "All right, I want you to join this circle," and then and then her friends at the circle say, "Oh, by the way, we're failing, and if we get kicked out, then you do too." And like after the second episode, I have no idea where this show's going. I'm personally not a fan of idol anime except for Zombieland
Zombieland.
Saga.
Yeah.
I'm probably just gonna continue watching this just to see where it goes, but I'm not
Hmm.
exactly gonna enjoy too much. For me, I would say drop it.
Hmm.
Uh, Gia Biate.
Oh no. Is that
Oh,
is that a show that I'm is
yes,
that what
that
I
is
think it
indeed the
is?
show you're thinking. The premise of
Oh
this show
Jesus.
is
Oh no.
basically there's just like this new disease, which by the way, which is like an epidemic across the world. Which by the way, bad time to
It
release that.
yes, yes. The moment I saw that, I was just like, wait, is this about Corona?
But like that this particular disease turns people into like monsters and stuff,
Bugs.
like
Yeah,
bug
yeah, yeah.
monsters.
Or monsters. I've only seen the bugs because I dropped the show like 7 minutes in.
And sorry, let me be clear. Bad, very bad CGI bugs.
Worse than Decadence.
And it's not even redeemable like Decadence. And then you tag on a samurai and a shinobi from Edo period Japan who time traveled for literally no reason into the middle of this war zone of monsters versus bug boys.
The show looks like crap. And the opening is even worse somehow. So remember how I made a joke about how Death March opening was really bad?
Yeah.
This one is just as bad. Like, like the worst part is they try to make it sound like a traditional like not traditional but like a really old Japanese musical performance with like traditional instruments
It
and
doesn't
whatnot.
it doesn't
And
fit very well with the style and
with the
themes of the
visuals.
shows and visuals. It's
Yeah,
not good at
yeah,
all.
yeah. I mean, maybe in isolation I wouldn't hate the song as much, but like when I heard the song with the visual on the screen, I just hated it. I hated every aspect of it. It was so disgusting. Like, remember how we were complaining about PowerPoints just a while back? There are PowerPoints in this one, and the PowerPoints are of CGI monsters. Why? Why would you do this? It's really bad. Don't
Yeah,
watch it.
drop it.
Production value is bad, and the
Drop.
story is bad. It's really cringe. Okay, no, no. Actually, watch the first 7 episodes. Oh, not the first seven.
No,
Watch the
don't
first
even do
seven
that, please.
minutes. Watch the first 7 minutes, and you will know what I mean. It's really bad, and you're gonna hate yourself for it. But it's gonna be a funny time, just like Arifureta. All right, and then you can just forget about it afterwards. All right. Okay, I mean, just look at the poster, dude. Look at the poster of the show on whatever my anime list. It looks really bad, man. I don't know why I had high hopes for the show, but I don't know. Maybe it has some tags that were interesting, like when I was looking at it through the seasonal charts. But then this was one of like the ones that I didn't really want to watch, and God, do I regret watching it.
Next on this list is Koichi producer Evil Love, and this is like almost the last one.
Is this like another idol show or?
No, it's an Otome game type show.
Oh, oh, okay.
I'm not even gonna bother going to the synopsis. Just drop it. I couldn't care less about this show.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it today, and there was just nothing that interested me in the show. I swear, one day we're gonna get a good reverse harem. Today's not that day.
Yeah, I mean, you just got spoiled from last season's Otome Flag.
Which is like, mediocre, so it's like fine,
It's all right. It's an all right adaptation.
Alright. Last show. It's Rent a Girlfriend.
Right. I did reference it, but I just forgot that we had to talk about it.
So to
well,
me,
well,
Rent a
yeah.
Girlfriend is like it's like smoking cigarettes, right? Because like you know how in every like movie, or if you actually smoked cigarettes, you always like cough up the first one and then you hate it, and then the next thing you
Oh,
know
okay.
you're
You're a chain
chain
smoker.
smoking a pack of
Jesus.
100 chapters in per day.
Is that what's happening to you right
That's
now?
that's exactly what's happened to me, and I
Jesus
know that
Christ.
I said on our Twitter account at RadioTakus Pod that if we would get 10 views on our spring 2020 episode, I would read the entirety of Kanojo or Rent a Girlfriend.
Yeah.
Well, joke's on you because I already did it.
Austin, why? Didn't you say you hated it, like when you first read it, the manga?
So the thing is that like like between when I first initially read it and now,
Yeah.
my bullshit tolerance has like increased a lot.
Oh my
Cause
God.
like I was reading it while we were reading while we were still in like the height of quintessential quintuplets, and it just wasn't the same.
Well, of course not, right? QQ was good.
So the premise of like Rent a Girlfriend is this the main character is like some guy, some college student who fell his way into an inheritance, and because he got dumped by his girlfriend for literally no reason, he decides to go take a rental girlfriend, and
Just for fun. Yeah.
just for fun. And he and this rental girlfriend keeps finding himself in more and more situations where their paths cross, and eventually they're gonna have to come to terms to the fact that their lives do not end when their date does. I think that's a pretty good explanation, personally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You left out the part where the main character, like the male main character, is an unlikable piece of garbage. But yeah, that's pretty good.
I'm trying to sell the show so that you guys can suffer along with me.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to be the voice of reason here and just go watch something else.
So this is one of the shows that I like when I first heard that this is getting an anime adaptation. I said to Sean, I said, "Hey Sean, I'm making you watch at least 3 episodes of this.
Wait, I thought it was only one.
Well, this is like way back in the day, and like eventually I
Yeah.
made you only watch one,
Yeah.
and I want you to just talk about it.
You
I
want me
want
to
you to
talk
lay
about it?
down on the couch and tell me how you feel right now.
Dr. Austin, I'm not feeling so good. Well, where did I begin? So the main character, well, yeah, I guess we could just start with the main character, right? Because he's the person we start with. His relationship with his former girlfriend is what we start with, even though
Yes.
it's like a short, like 5 second clip, essentially.
Yeah.
So they basically show a picture of the his former girlfriend for a second, and then the next second they broke up. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's not much to say. Like we don't know much about their previous relationships, essentially. Um, although afterwards, the guy does see her with another dude, right? The main character sees his former girlfriend with another dude, so that probably triggers some NTR PTSD in him. So he started jacking off in his bedroom. So I don't know how I feel about that. Um, like I know you might want to make like a miserable main character so he's relatable to the audience, but honestly, uh, you don't have to go that far because it's gotten to a point where he's just like miserable to a fault, and
Like
there's no likable things about him.
so, like what I'm told on via Reddit, so like take this with a grain of salt, you know,
Hmm.
is that they wrote this main character to be like extremely relatable to like the people who are just like awkward and have no confidence and are relatively social awkward, and like they want to get some like relatability out of that. Well, here's the thing.
Wouldn't this just make you want to kill yourself?
Here's the thing. I have no confidence and I'm socially awkward and I even know not to dig myself into a hole that deep.
And like the first episode is just so like it's so contrived, bro. Oh yeah, of course, of course, the main character's grandmother just happens to be hospitalized the day he goes on the date, and of course the hospital happens to be the same one that the girl's grandmother is staying in, and of course they meet up, and of course they have to pretend that they're dating, and of course so many things happen, and it's just a coincidence, and we're not supposed to question it, and yeah, it's a dumb premise.
I think the most annoying thing about like just romantic comedy, quote unquote comedies as a whole, is the whole like awful timing trope. I think the
Hmm.
awful timing trope is just kind of. I don't know how you can write like good romantic comedies because, like, granted, I'm not a writer, but I think that trope is like super overdone, personally.
You can write romantic comedies just through dialogue alone. Oregairu is a comedy. Even though it's dramatic at times, and most of it is more like and told in a serious manner, there is comedy in in both the show and the light novel through the writing and the characters' interaction. So it doesn't have to be all like it doesn't have to be coincidences or whatever, right? But yeah, I don't like the show for obvious reasons. The characters are unlikable, and I care a lot about like narrative and characters and visual presentation. And the only thing that's strong in this show or in this adaptation is probably the visuals. Mostly because of the
Character
character
visuals.
designs from the manga.
Yeah, character
Yeah,
visuals, to be clear. I think the
yeah.
background art is kind of the same as Otome Flag, which is not
So
my
looks
kind of
like a
thing, but
misfit.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, I guess the other thing that I liked was I guess a total of 10 seconds of the opening, right? There's like an opening sequence that I really liked. Or there are two sequences that I really liked in the opening where they played around with one the camera angle. I think they used kind of like a fish lens camera for it, but it was just like an angle. It was just a scene where the characters swiped the screen and then they just turned the perspective onto a different female cast. So that's cool.
I would like to point out that the Rent a Girlfriend opening is just the worst version of the Wotakoi opening.
Oh my god, I forgot what the Octokoi opening was, but I remember liking it too. Yeah. Oh yes, I remember. It was like where all the characters were doing like a cute little dance, right? And then they point to the other person, and the other person starts to dance.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's just the
that,
worst.
that, that, that was another sequence that I liked. But yeah, yeah, I can see it.
It's
Yeah.
just it's just a worse version of that. Except the songs are about equal. I like the Peggies are also are pretty banging.
Hmm. It's been a while since I heard their songs in anime, right?
2018 with Kimi no Se.
Yeah, quite a while. Yeah, 2 years. Jesus.
So, one of the concerns I have about Rent a Girlfriend is the pacing of it because I think
Okay.
the like they show four girls in the opening, but the fourth girl doesn't show up until like chapter 50 something. So it's like really gonna have to
Huh?
like mess with the timing or pacing in order to actually like fit her into the season.
That's okay, guys. Okay. Well, it's probably gonna get a season two, then, right? Is it popular in Japan?
I don't know. I don't want to know.
It's probably not. Oh, I mean, hey, who knows? SAO is popular, so anything can happen, right? But
I mean,
I don't know.
what I do like about this show is just like the general premise of it. Besides, the
Really?
main character's like bait in this, but like the whole concept of like compensated dating, which is not something that
Okay,
you
yeah,
really see in safer work
yeah, yeah,
manga.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
for
because
sure.
like I remember talking to Sean about this rabbit hole of like compensated dating and prostitution research that I say research, but it was just like an internet rabbit hole like on like you'd find on a new subreddit or something. But it was like that, but that's just like all stemming from me looking at Rent a Girlfriend.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because you remember that conversation where I
No, I
was like,
remember that kind of conversation, but I don't remember. I don't think you told me it was because you watched the show.
no, I didn't. It's more funnier if I just bring it up out of the blue.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a very interesting conversation because like here in America, like it's illegal in like all but one state, which is Nevada, because Las Vegas is Las Vegas.
Okay.
What
Yeah.
happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Whereas where you
True.
live in Taiwan, it's like fully legal, which we just found out like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Only good thing about this country, I suppose,
And,
except for its food.
and then Japan is like this weird like in between where just like they, it's like technically it's illegal, but they just like circumvent it in like the most ridiculous of ways.
Yep.
So like for those who don't know, because like I looked this up because I was just curious because thanks Rent a Girlfriend for ruining my internet search history. Just kidding, I use incognito mode all the time. In Japan, the only thing that's illegal with regards to prostitution is the actual act of intercourse. So like theoretically, you could do like literally every outer course and it would all be like perfectly legal within the bounds. But like places like soaplands and like other quote unquote clubs, they use like the intro and like the actual foreplay as a quote unquote means of acquainting the client and the service, and they circumvent that because like they're just now they're banging, but now they're banging because they're acquaintances that are quote unquote attracted to each other, and like yes, it's you could probably argue that it's still illegal, but like apparently it's like really nice tax income for the government, so they're not complaining about it. It's like this is a situation. It's like why not just decriminalize it?
Money talks, man.
Like back onto the main character. The main character is just a really really he's not fun to watch at all. I will say that the first like I should say this before, but like I don't care about spoiling the show because it's this show. But the main character is like his worst moments are at the beginning of the show, and like he gets like slightly better. Like he's still the main like you know on how do I say this? He doesn't do anything with his feelings, which like I can't really complain too much about because I've had the same crush for 9 months without actually doing anything about it. Actually, no, it's been 10 months now. Jesus Christ! But
Pepe hands. Blame Corona.
this guy like this guy's pretty bad with it too. It's the main character is awful, and I will say that like the main girls really enjoy like the writer makes a good job of directing your emotions to each girl appropriately, right? because like at the beginning you're gonna hate Chizuru, and then she does a good job of making you like not hate Chizuru, and she makes you like some characters and dislike some other characters, and it's like it's that I think it's really well written in terms of like that regard.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the other bone to pick that I have with harems mostly, and honestly, we could do a whole episode on harems, and I would not be disappointed or run out of things to talk about.
Yeah, it'll probably be a long episode because most of the shows these days are harems. XD.
I'm not complaining. I'm gonna be straight up. I'm not complaining. I love harems. Harems are like my guilty pleasure, except I don't feel guilty about it at all.
There's too many of them though. I need actual good shows to watch. Like think about all the shows that we can. Think about the good shows that we can watch for this season. There's only like
Two,
four,
three.
three. Oregairu, ReZero, Decadence. Maybe God of High School, so maybe four. And then the rest
Oregairu is the
just
harem.
jokes. No,
Oregairu is the harem. Changed my mind.
no. There's only one girl. What are you talking about?
Okay, but my main issue, one of my issues with harems is without going into it. Nah, screw it. I don't care if I go into it too deep. It's the fact that like I don't like it when harem shows like have a harem and then push one girl as like super hard, because like you'll see this in like even the opening of Rent a Girlfriend, where they like heavily push Chizuru as like main girl, and like in like Nisekoi, right? They're gonna push Chitoge, right?
Yup.
Yeah, they're gonna push Chitoge, and that's what I personally liked about Quintessential Quintuplets, where it's like it's a lot clearer, or it's a lot more mysterious which girl was going to be chosen, but like you know what the end game is gonna be, and for Rent a Girlfriend, you know what the end game is gonna be, and it's just gonna be a 140 plus chapter of slow burn and hatred toward the main character to get there.
Sounds like fun. You should definitely check it out.
I'm for all of you listening to right now, I am going to encourage you to read it so you can revel in my pain.
Yeah, well, I'll be the voice of reason again and tell you no and save yourself.
Look, if I was truly sadistic, I would have asked you to watch Domestic Girlfriend or read Domestic Girlfriend, but
Yeah, but would I actually read it?
no, I wouldn't.
No.
After listening to Giguk and Sid Snap's meltdown on it, definitely not. I read the last
On
few
what?
chapters. I know how bad of an ending it is.
Oh, what? Rent a Girlfriend?
No, it's not. Rent a Girlfriend's not finished. Domestic Girlfriend.
Oh, domestic. Yeah, I just had brain fart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you told me, didn't you?
Yeah, it was awful.
About like the. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Don't.
Truck-kun saves the day again.
Glance
I'll
by
just say that.
Truck-kun. So, I mean, we haven't. I think overall for this, we have a decent selection of shows, surprisingly, but mostly sequels.
Yeah, 4 shows, right? We just said 4 good shows, and then what about the rest?
Yeah, the 4 good shows that I recommend are both of us recommend are ReZero Season 2, Oregairu Season 3, Decadence, and Rent a Girlfriend.
What?
No, don't. It's
I think you were lagging there. I think you bugged out, man. I think you meant to say God of High School.
yeah, totally, 100%. I don't know what you're talking
okay. Yeah. If you heard something that starts with an R just now, just know that it's a glitch, and we'll try to fix it post editing. Okay.
Guess who's the one editing it?
The correct version will be on YouTube.
All right.
That's about wraps up this season, right? It's a pretty short season compared to usual.
Yeah,
for obvious reasons, right?
We'll still do our post-season recap at the end of the season, but
yeah, I think there's gonna be. Well, maybe. I mean, it's probably gonna be like a focus on Decadence and God of High School and Oregairu, because ReZero will still be airing, right?
Yeah, we can talk about the first core.
Oh wait, yeah, we can talk about the first core. But is it 24 episodes this season, or are they They did say they're gonna split it up, right?
Yes, it's split between this season and winter 2021.
Okay. So we're only getting 12 episode this in this airing. Okay. Yeah.
Dude,
Sounds about
winter
sounds good.
2021 is stacked. I don't want to get to it into too much this episode, but that season is so stacked.
Dude, I remember we had this conversation before, and I already forgot what's in it. All I know is ReZero is in it.
But putting that aside, you got any recommendations for this week?
Well,
Are you just
I
gonna
mean,
recommend another
since
VTuber?
since I said Fully Cooley and you haven't seen it before, I guess I recommend Fully Cooley again. Well, another VTuber. Yeah, I could recommend another VTuber. Who's doing pretty well these days? Last episode we recommended Corone, right?
Yes,
Um,
we are part of the Do cult now.
the Duke. Well, Corona is more of like a gamer VTuber, right? If you wanna check out some VTubers who are more focused on, I guess, the more idolish things, like singing and live performance and whatnot, you could check out Tenjin Kotone, I guess. She's a pretty good singer. Tokino Sora is also pretty good. She's got a pretty good singing voice. She's also very into horror games. She does a lot of horror game playthroughs, so that's nice.
Oh, I've seen something
Um,
about that on the wiki. Yes, I've gone into
yeah,
VTuber wiki hell.
yeah. Well, I've been there for a while now. But yeah, she likes horror games and she could take it, and that's really refreshing because usually when female streamers in general, like not just VTubers, when female streamers stream, they like to be very loud, and while that can be fine, but it's just good to have a change of pace, right? Another good singer. So I recommended one from Hollow Light. That's Tokino Sora. I recommended one. I don't know if Tenjin Kotone is indie or if she's part of a smaller agency. Um, but yeah, Tenjin Kotone is also really good. I want to try to recommend one from Niji Sanji, but honestly, I don't know. I don't. I don't. I don't watch Niji Sanji for the singing, to be honest, because they're mostly like they're a more disorganized group, so they don't really focus that much on being an idol. So they're fine with being a persona that's just streams video games for the most part. Uh, so yeah, I guess I'll just recommend somebody that's fun to watch. I guess you can check out Lise Helesta's stream or channel. Like her, Inui Toko, and Anje Katrina debuted at the same time as part of the Sambaka group, so the Three Idiots group. Um, yeah, they have a lot of funny interactions going on. Lisa just celebrated her 200K sub milestone on YouTube, even though right now she has 347K subs. Uh, it was just a delayed celebration that never happened until now, and now she has to catch up like with the whole the celebration thing. But yeah, that stream is pretty funny. There are translated clips of it online, and yeah, do check it out. But yeah, that's my VTuber recommendation of the week, I guess.
So I watched a new, well, not a newer anime movie recently called A Whisker Away, and A Whisker Away is not my recommendation of the week because I personally thought it was kind of mid, even though it had like decent praise. But the opening slapped, and that was by a band called Yorushika, which is pretty popular in Japan. But Yorushika is so good. Their music is just absolutely godlike, and their lyrics are just like everybody's gangsta until the subtitles come on because their lyrics are like horribly depressing. Um, I like honestly the music video for Nautilus just like piqued my depression so high. It was like absolutely absurd, but like their music is ridiculous.
The ending theme for 5 centimeters per second is also depressing, because it was the one where a singer, or like, yeah, like the singer's wife just died recently, so he wrote a song about it, and then Shinkai just used that song as the ending theme of 5 centimeters per second, and it was just pippy hands, bro.
I'm
Just
glad
pippy hands.
Radwimps has like happier music, but yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
Yorushika, godlike band, listen to them. And that's all we have for this bye week. Hope you all are all staying safe, and for now, stay degenerate.